Welcome to the Beantown Bully podcast. I'm your host, Bosch. Let's get right into it. You know what? I need to take a moment to recognize one of the homies. Like, I wouldn't be dropping these episodes like this. The homie didn't keep jumping in and just being like, "Yo, what's the next episode?" You gotta keep dropping it. You gotta keep dropping it. I know my views and stuff like that is not where I want it to be, but the slow grind, and it's something I actually like to do. So it's not really a chore. It's just before there was not a lot to do, but I gotta just respect. Like, it's funny because I did the same thing for him when it was on Twitch when he didn't want to continue. No, he's gonna listen to this episode anyway. But shout out to him, my Canadian brethren. I don't want to put his name out there because I do say some salacious shit that he may or may not agree with. But if he's listening to this episode, just want to know, thanks for returning the favor. Thanks for returning the favor. Now, let's get into it. Cyberpunk is dropping new DLC for Cyberpunk 77. Now, hey, is this game up to snuff? Are people even still playing this? I don't know. But they dropped a new update for the Edge Runner, the Netflix DLC, where you get to have a mission with the character in the Netflix TV show. Which, hey, I seen that they're still selling this game for at least $60 online on certain sites. They might have to eat the bullet and drop the price down if they really want people to mess with this. Now, is this game salvageable? I can't say it's not, because we see what No Man's Sky has done. But are people willing to come back to this? It's a single player game. If they added some type of co-op option in the game, which I don't even know how long it would even take to build, but a co-op online, which Halo's currently working on, actually putting that through. They're doing beta testing for that. Now, is that a possibility to bring people back? I feel like that would probably be the best thing for the game to bring people back in general. Adding some type of online co-op for the game. There's already a lot of mod support for the game. There's people who's doing the fucking people who made their game's job. CD Projekt Red, everyone knows already dropped the ball. But the real focus is there enough there that people want to build off of? People like the world. So I don't think they should abandon ship, but it really depends how much money they're willing to spend on this. That's the real question. How much money are they willing to spend on this game that was panned by everybody? It's already been established that they've not dropping no DLC for the old gen consoles, which is i.e. Xbox One and the PS4. They're not dropping DLC for that, or pretty much any real updates after the one they dropped. The game is not playable on those older systems. It is what it is. Sorry. But I don't know. I actually have the game for PS4. I don't know if it's a free upgrade to PS5. And if it isn't, it should be. I really need to look into that. Hopefully it is. Actually, let me just check that right now. Alright, just checked it. It looks like it is a free upgrade. There's a kind of little bit of wording that makes it seem that if you didn't buy the game between a certain time, you're not eligible for it. So that's a little scummy. But they should want as many people to play the game in its quote unquote better condition. But back to the news. Phantom Liberty drops 2023. They're saying it's going to be the last DLC for the game. So more Johnny Silverhands, only for current gen and PC. And they will be moving the majority of their team to work on the next Witcher games, which will be, they're making multiple Witcher games that's in the pipeline. So they're probably making another trilogy. They're setting that up, or a spin-off type game. Because the Netflix TV show has brought a lot of eyes into that world, and they'll be a fool not to even use the hype to get more from it. Moving on, EA and Battlefield. Now, EA said they're still going to be dropping DLC for Battlefield 24. Is that what it's called? I don't remember. The game it's not hitting as much as I like to hit. Don't get me wrong. When I turn it on and I actually get around to playing it, there isn't a need to play the game. But I'm probably being more jaded because it didn't just hook me in when it first dropped. I really feel that Battlefield itself, this gen just missed the mark. Like, it doesn't feel like previous Battlefield games. It doesn't give me that this is something I need to hop on. Now, maybe I just grown accustomed to being like playing multiple games, multiple multiplayer games, and this is the one that's not hitting. But I had spurts of wanting to play other multiplayer games that hit, like Paladins. Like, if someone's like, you want to play some Paladins? It's most likely yes. But I fell off on Siege, which I used to play all the time. For Honor, which I used to play all the time. Every time I get back on For Honor, I gotta learn my character's moves. So that's annoying. And I only play as Valkyrie. But EA says that they're still gonna plan to drop some more DLC, expand the game, fine-tune the game. They're also working on a single-player, story-driven game by Redline Studios. So I don't know how to feel about this. So I feel like Battlefield 2042 needs all the help it can get, and they need to figure something out about that game. Do I want them to ban it? No, because I actually bought the game. I'm seeing it on sale for like $5 on PS4, PS5. The price drop is crazy. I don't know, man. For the people who bought it and they were loyal to the game, they should hang on a little bit longer. I know they have some returns and stuff like that, but they need to hang on a little bit longer for the game. So I don't think Battlefield's dead in the water right now. There's a lot of gripes and complaints, but that new map that they got, it hits. When I am in the mood to play Battlefield, and I play that new map in Canada, I don't remember what it's called, that shit hits. But you gotta drop off a little more than a couple skins and shit like that. I do like them dropping the newer characters. I just think that they're in this weird situation. It's like there's not a lot of continuous players. All the DLC they made was all free, which is a good thing. But longevity-wise, if they keep dropping this free DLC, how many people's actually going to come back? It's the same thing with Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk, I think, might be a paid DLC, but is there room in this saturated market for a multiplayer first-person shooter? And that's the real question we have to ask ourselves. Next, Atomic Heart. Now, I didn't even know this game was going directly into Game Pass. Now I feel a lot better about the game. The game looked great, and this is a good look for Microsoft. Going to day one on Game Pass, letting people know that, hey, we see other pretenders to the throne trying to do this Game Pass thing, and Microsoft's like, nah, day one over here, bring your axe here, boy. And yo, we gotta respect that move. Now, is that company actually gonna make money on Game Pass? Realistically, right now, I don't know how Game Pass really makes money. I can say the same thing about PlayStation's one, but that type of service is just like, well, PlayStation games are a lot older. The day one is a very interesting thing because it's like you're risking all the revenue you will have in your game in like the first 6 months, which is what the bulk of their money is. The first 6 months of the game drop, because actually the first 3 months of the game drop, because after 3 months, the game is definitely going in half in price in most locations, unless you're buying it digital. And digital games don't go on sale like that. So unless you're getting it on PC, console-wise, your games they're not being sold. They're not being sold at anything less than original price for like at least the first year. Game looks good, but it has been delayed at least twice. Now, with delaying games, can we really blame it on coronavirus right now? Or, well, fuck it, I said it. And all this other shit, can we blame it on that? I don't know how to feel about that. It being blamed on that, because I feel like literally, it shouldn't be that hard to work from home. Now you can be like, well, they need all this technology. I don't think it would be that difficult for them to bring that technology home. Like, if they knew what it was, what up was with it, they would have been like, all right, we're going to send you what's at your desk home so you can continue working. Because they make a lot of money, and it is very crucial for them to drop a product that's finished up to the standards of the public. Now, every game has a day one patch. That is annoying, but $60, $70 for a game, and getting that bulk of your money that you're going to get throughout the lifespan of the game in like the first 3 to 6 months of the game being dropped, you have to really take that into consideration. So them jumping onto Xbox Game Pass day one looks a little crazy. They might not have enough faith in the game, or Microsoft may have given them enough money to be like, we're really gonna just put that in there. Now, they're not owned by Microsoft. Yes, they're not owned by Microsoft, from my knowledge. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But realistically, most likely, they might be headed into the Microsoft systems, studios, umbrella, whatever you want to call it. If this game does numbers, now is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I really don't know. I feel that this shift in the industry towards everything going into a service type game, a service type system, is going to ruin these games. There's been a lot of games that have dropped, haven't been up to par. And I can't say that's all blame to game as a service, or not game as a service, but like everything enters in this subscription base. That's what I want to say. Subscription based type games. They haven't. I feel like the only reason you should even do it if you don't have confidence in the game that you have. If you don't have confidence in the game you have, then it's best to jump into this Microsoft, jump into this Sony's, this Netflix type of deal. You put your game out there, but once you put your game in there, what would be the purpose of someone going out and buying your game? Like, what is the cut that you get from that? Because if it's in one of those systems, don't get me wrong, I still like buying games. I just beat Guardians of the Galaxy. That was on Xbox Game Pass. After I beat it, I was like, oh, this is a pretty good game. I probably would beat it again. Then the deluxe edition of all the costumes thing dropped, and I wanted to buy it. It was on sale. I am a cheap bastard still at heart. So, and then I went to go try to get it. The sale was over. So I'm like, fuck. So I would have gave the company a little bit. I would have paid into a game that I already beaten to play it again. Which, just to see the other sides of the story, it's a good enough game. A lot of people should play it. And since it's on Game Pass, people should just give it a shot in general. Good story. Using your abilities, it's a little weird. Using the abilities they give you, they kind of spaced out the abilities. They took a little bit longer to get the elementals on your weapon, and when you got them, they just was like, all right, new ability. So, hey, I kind of felt like they should have just gave you actually, instead of the specific element as a spell or as a skill, should give you more of a move that would come to play. So, like, I don't know, they just wouldn't have to just lean back on that aspect of the game. But the game overall, I believe everyone should play the game. It's definitely a play. No matter where you're going to play it, if you buy it or if you use Xbox Game Pass, I definitely genuinely think this is a game that people should play and really give the choices and the thing. I don't know how well the choices actually mean anything to. I did get a choice I didn't like towards the end. Actually, should I spoil it? I got the bad ending, I should say. But then they give me a shot to correct my mistake. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I was just like, oh, that ending came through. And I was just like, oh, well, that's that then. And I felt like they should have let you finish the game with that type of ending. Now, don't get me wrong. The ending doesn't have to be canon, but they should have left it there and let you go all the way through and like, this is what happens when you fucked up in the end of the game, and like just let you like I know what happens. Like I have an idea what's happening, but like I just show it. Show us the gruesome part of your actions. But again, great game. Definitely should be on people's radar. Marvel's Avengers kind of fucked it up for everybody, and everybody's kind of looking at these type of games sideways because I shouldn't say these type of games. I should say superhero games in general. Marvel's Avengers is done. It's kind of weird, but it's funny because the only good Marvel games are on PlayStation or PlayStation and PC now because Spider-Man's on PlayStation. I mean, Spider-Man's on PC now, so that's another thing to figure out. I think Marvel should really. There is talks about Blade going to EA for them to make a Blade game, if I remember that correctly. And I just hope that these people, they're giving these people a try. Because, is it EA or is it Ubisoft? I think it's Ubisoft. Ubisoft makes Assassin's Creed. A more bloody version of Assassin's Creed with vampires, that might not be the worst thing. But how come no one's giving the bag to GTA to make these type of games? Think about it. Disney has the money. Why aren't they trying to make these games? But it's a Blade game. Disney's on their PG-13 type-ish. I don't know if the game's going to be where it needs to be. Because I would expect Blade to have a darker tone to it. And then overall, it'll change the way people feel. Well, it'll change the overall thought process for how people view Disney / Marvel. Now, the Spider-Man games are fairly light-hearted. They don't really get dark. Well, most of these games don't really get dark in such a way that I'm like, that it really needs to be. Yeah, I think most games, they try to stay away from the darker aspects of the world. And this new Blade game for Ubisoft might not be a bad get. Yeah, remember, Ubisoft has made... Here's the real problem. Is it going to feel like a lived-in city? Because they have NPCs doing shit, but it's a feel lived-in like GTA, Red Dead. You feel me? That's the problem. And this Blade game, this might change it. And if they do somehow change up and drop something that resonates with the people, that's going to be a very, very big get for them. Hopefully, it does what it needs to do and they can build off of it. Because right now, people saying Ubisoft is a little lackluster and stuff like that. But I feel that they got something in the chamber. They haven't been doing this for this long for them to drop the ball. Because their game still sells, believe it or not.